The voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, Star of Stage and Screen. You can catch him on our YouTube channel, our Facebook page. He is Bill Geiger from the Rotary Club as we talk about AMBA. Is it still called AMBA? I always just throw that out there.
Still called AMBA, Annual Multiphasic Blood Analysis,
There you go.
AMBA.
There you go. The good old AMBA. Our conversation is brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. So this is coming up. This is a big one, isn't it?
It is. It's come a week from Saturday. So what, 10 days more or less? Yeah, 9 days. Yep.
All right. So set it up for us. What is AMBA? Why is it necessary? And who's the sponsor?
Yeah. So let me tell about what and why AMBA, and then when, where, and how. So AMBA is your basic sort of blood tests that a lot of doctors like their patients to have routinely. There also are a few extra blood tests that doctors might prescribe as additional at a slightly extra additional cost. But these are the basic kind of blood tests. You know, the
Cholesterol, triglycerides.
Red blood cells, white blood cells. You know, all this your standard panel, as your doctor would call it. And so this is a way to get it at a very affordable price. If you go to your doctor and he sends you to a local place, and of course, the local place, they got to pay for, you know, bricks and mortars, keep the building up and all that. So the cost is going to be a little higher. Actually, it's much higher. Your insurance usually covers most or all of it if you have insurance. The AMBA doesn't take insurance, but the basic panel costs only $42, which is a fraction, maybe as little as a tenth of what a bricks and mortar place might charge your insurance company. So you pay out of pocket. If you're a Medicare patient, they generally only allow these tests every second year, unless you've got a very specific condition that requires more regular. But you can get this because you're paying yourself for $42 plus our $5 handling fee that the Rotary, which is the sponsor organization, charges. So it's a way to get very affordable way to get blood testing. The testing is done by Quest Diagnostics. Quest Diagnostics is an enormous medical testing company. A lot of hospitals and doctors use Quest Diagnostics to analyze tests of all kinds. So very often if you go to the hospital to get a test, not necessarily a blood test, they might do that nearby, but other tests they might send to Quest Diagnostics to do the work on it. So it's a very highly reputable company, and these traveling blood testing events are kind of a side thing that they do in addition to the much larger business of providing testing for medical practices and hospitals and so forth.
Now, in addition to doing the test, they also make sure the test results are seen by the right people.
Correct. So you have to, your doctor has to accept the results, and so they have a list of, when you call, they have a list of doctors locally that will accept the testing from AMBA. For some reason, some doctors might prefer that you get your testing done locally at a local outfit, but most doctors in the area do accept them, and so they will then send the results directly to your doctor so he or she can analyze the results and tell you what they mean. If you ask, you can also have the results mailed to you personally, but the results will definitely be sent to your doctor for them to analyze and then talk with you afterwards about, you know, what those results mean.
Yeah. So this is the basic testing, and help me because I have forgotten already. You just said it and I've forgotten already. If you want more extensive testing, that's available too? It
is. So you would definitely need an additional script for those additional tests. You might need a script for your basic tests. This is why you call AMBA and register, and they'll tell you whether or not you need a prescription for your basic tests. If there are extra tests beyond the basic panel, you will need to have a script. Now, my doctor, every year I go for my kind of well checkup, usually end of the summer, early in the fall, and he writes me a script to get a blood test before the next, like a month or two before my next visit. So I've had my script in my tacked to my bulletin board at home for 10 months. And it includes on there, in addition to the panel, PSA, because I'm of the age and I'm a male where a PSA test is a good thing to have. Now, so I'll need to have that script with me when I come to get that test, and it'll cost an additional beyond the $42 for the panel.
Yeah. Okay, so all of that being the case, give us the when and the where.
The when is next Saturday, June 25th. Starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and goes until 10 o'clock in the morning. And if you call and register there now, they'll give you a particular appointment time. And and it's at the Indiana Mall. We're in the spot where a lot of public events, a lot of the blood drives are being done. It's right next to K Jewelers. It's where the holiday season, the model trains are set up.
Sure.
So that the Indiana Mall has been very gracious. This is the third year they've offered it to us for this purpose, and so we're really grateful to them.
Yeah, yeah. And for folks who aren't aware and maybe have never had a blood test done before because it's not something that they typically do, this isn't going to take a big chunk out of your day.
No, it doesn't. It takes by the time you could come in and leave, it should be an hour. Sometimes it'll be less. Yeah.
Yeah. So all of that is a part of what we're talking about when we do AMBA, and this is something that is done every year by Rotary.
We've done it every year. We had a couple years with the pandemic when because of concerns about transmitting the disease, Quest Diagnostics was not doing it, and we actually had one set up March 2020, and it was like 2 days before the governor kind of closed things down, and we decided to shut it down because we were just concerned. And so then the next year, 2021, we didn't have it, but we had it last year in the summertime, and then again this year we're having it in the summertime.
Yeah, yeah. So the question is then, why does Rotary do this?
Well, two reasons. One, it's a great help to a lot of people in the community who either don't have insurance or are on Medicare, which only, as I said, typically will cover this test every other year. So a lot of people just find it very convenient and very helpful and exceptionally affordable. Also, we raise a little bit of money. In addition to the $42 for the basic test that AMBA charges, we collect a $5 per person handling fee. Mm-hmm. And after some minimal expenses that we incur, the rest of it goes into our fundraising account, which supports a number of the nonprofit programs that we support in the community, like dictionaries to third graders in the county, like some of our scholarship programs, some of our ongoing projects that we do year after year.
Yeah, yeah. Rotary has done this for a number of years. I don't know how badly the pandemic had affected it last year, and I certainly hope that it doesn't affect it this year. But typically, do you have an idea of how many people are run through this on a particular year?
Well, it's gotten smaller over the years, and I'm not sure if that's because insurance has gotten better about covering it locally. But when I first came to town 23 years ago, and we were doing it then, we'd get about 300 people, 400 people on a Saturday, and we had it 2 or 3 Saturdays. Now we're getting closer to 200 the last couple of years with the pandemic, and we're just offering it the one Saturday this year. I think we're still all a little bit cautious, and we're not sure if there's really a demand to have it more than one Saturday this year, but I suspect next year we might have it a second Saturday again. But we're expecting about 200 people. Yeah.
Okay. So that being the case, what does somebody need to do in order to do this? And I should say this is not just males. This is males, females.
Oh, yep. Anybody can get it. So let me give you an 800 number that you call, and let me tell you a little bit about calling that number and making your appointment. The number is 1-800-234-8888. I should have it memorized because I've been doing it for years. But 1-800-234-8888. You call that number, and they will register you and give you a time, and they'll ask you some questions about who your doctor is to make sure your doctor accepts the results. Whether or not you need to bring a script, that'll depend in part on who your doctor is, what the tests are that you're wanting to get. When you call, what folks should know, when you call, you'll usually get put on hold. You have to call during business hours, 8:30 to 5 on Monday through Friday. And you get put on hold, and there'll be a recording that tells you lots of stuff about all the things that Quest Diagnostics does, which is wonderful information. Mm-hmm. You can listen to it, take notes, but you don't have to do anything, or you could ignore it. You don't really need to really pay close attention until a live person comes on the phone and says hello and starts asking you particular questions. So all the things that come before the live person talking, that's just information, not necessarily critical. The critical information they will give to you personally when you're talking to a live person. So hang on, just let that, till one of the operators is available. Listen to that recording, but don't worry too much about it.
Yeah. All right. Very good. The multiphasic blood testing, when people have this test done, especially those who don't regularly get it done, sometimes it opens their eyes, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Yeah. Yeah. Now, there are a couple things, if we got a minute, just things that with the pandemic that have changed. We still aren't offering refreshments. We used to offer donuts and orange juice and coffee, and AMBA really doesn't want us to do anything. We are allowed to provide some prepackaged things So we'll have water, bottled water when people are done if they want that. And also McDonald's has graciously given us some certificates we can give away for some freebies if they want to head up there after their testing.
Okay, there you go. There you go. All right, so make the call. There probably a limited number of slots available.
They are, but I did it myself yesterday. I had no problems. Went through. I was able to pick a time, so I think there's still plenty of slots available.
There you go. The number again is
1-800-234-8888.
easy to remember, but I would forget it. Very good, Bill. Thanks so much for coming in. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Todd,
that.
as always.
And the Rotary does such wonderful work, and they are doing it again, and we appreciate them so very, very much. It's Indiana in the Morning, always presented by First Commonwealth Bank. It's the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.